Hello! Welcome to watching VideoGaming Father's video review of a science fiction first-person puzzle platformer called Q.U.B.E Director's Cut. Is there any mysterious story from the dismal future that can keep your attention all time long? Who is the main game character and what is his motivation? Are there any inventive game mechanics making the game something more than just another 3D puzzle platformer? Does the game constantly serve you new ideas not to become stereotypic soon? Are there any original enemies that you would need to face? Will the game properly test your brain cells and platforming skills? Isn't the game ruined by inaccurate controls or bad level design? Can one find attractive audio visuals there that won't make your eyes and ears hurt? Let's find it out together in my Q.U.B.E Director's Cut video review. Let's start with the story. The main hero wakes inside a sterile cube pattern environment and finds himself wearing a special suit with almost magic gloves. He is contacted over the radio by a woman called Commander Novak. Novak says that she is an astronaut aboard the International Space Station and warns that the main hero may have amnesia as a side effect of the space travel that they have undergone, and they are currently aboard a cube-shaped alien vessel on a collision course with Earth. The player is informed they must use their suit to decipher their way through the mysterious ship in a few hours, which will cause the ship to self-destruct before it can destroy the planet. With the main hero unable to send messages back and the space station orbiting behind Earth, Novak encourages him to hurry before routinely losing contact. It doesn't sound bad so far, does it? And you can be almost sure that there are some twists yet. The mysterious story along with Commander Novak's dubbed voice in the intercom are definitely one of the strongest side of the game. So, the story is able to drag you in and keep your attention while playing, making you curious what comes next. It actually reminded me of the plot of an iconic movie from the 90s called Q.U.B.E. Good job! Let's get to the essential part of each video game, the gameplay. After waking up from some incident and brief first contact with Commander Novak introducing you to the status of things, the main character, let's call him the Nameless, finds himself in a perfect sterile cube-shaped environment with a pair of gloves that can interact with specific blocks that are in the walls, floors and ceilings of the various rooms as he progresses. The function of the blocks are distinguished by their colors. There are red blocks that can be extended or retracted, yellow blocks that are always in groups of 3 and can be used to make stair-like structures, blue blocks that can be retracted to act like a trampoline to the objects, including your character, that appear on their surface, pairs of purple blocks with direction indicators that serves to rotate sections of walls in the room, and green cubes or spheres, which are one of the few non-cubical objects in the game by the way, that you need to manipulate to get further. There is not any proper tutorial in the beginning, but the game principles are rather simple and intuitive, so it simply gives you the space to discover the game mechanics by testing them yourself. Normally, I would say that the absence of tutorial is a minus, but here it somehow serves to build up the oppressive atmosphere and makes you more connected with the Nameless hero. The colorful blocks are introduced one by one, so one has a chance to test how they worked before the need to combine them to get to an exit point, allowing him to move to the next chamber. Now let's have a look at some typical game situations. As I have mentioned before, in the first few levels the game introduces the main colorful blocks separately before it starts to combine them together. First, you get familiar with the red blocks that you usually need to extend to use them as a platform that you can jump onto to get further. Then comes the blue blocks that you need to retract to make them a trampoline that can shoot you up vertically to either get to some high place or to hit to the next blue block to get even higher. After that, you get familiar with the yellow blocks that make stairs for you, allowing you to move vertically. Unlike classic stairs, these blocks do not have to be necessarily located on the ground, but could also grow up from the wall, so they might also serve as a series of platforms to get higher. You can also affect which of these 3 blocks will be the tallest by selecting it for extension. The next few chambers then are the combination of these three elements. For example, you need to use the blue one to jump onto yellow ones on the wall, climb up, expand the red one on the opposite wall to use it as a temporary platform while changing the shape of yellow ones to make the highest one the longest and use it as a platform to get to the exit. Then comes the green block that you cannot manipulate with by using your magical gloves, but can be manipulated by the other blocks to open your way further. For example, you need to extend the red one to push the green one to the blue one that shoots it up to the yellow stair-like one and makes one additional step there so you can get to the desired spot. And the game becomes more and more complex. By using the purple blocks rotating the parts of the wall, you would need to set all the blocks to the right positions before you use them. Or you would need to set up the track for the green ball properly, not to make it stuck somewhere, and to get it to the right spot to open your way further. The level design is really good and makes you combine the all previously learned stuff with the new one while using simple game mechanics. This also makes you wonder what comes next and naturally drives you forward. Very well done! Is there something else enhancing the gameplay? The answer is not really. There are no enemies or some little obstacles that you would need to face, the environment is still the same, plenty of cubes in shades of grey with colorful blocks that can be manipulated, and you won't learn any new skills except the two ones that you have from the very beginning. But thanks to the level design that is still coming up with some new design ideas and mechanics, it doesn't matter so much. I don't say that adding some new skills or RPG elements wouldn't benefit the game, of course. Their absence is just not such a big minus like in some other games. Now let's have a look at the game difficulty and controls. The game difficulty is gradually increasing along with puzzle complexity. The first few puzzles are rather easy, while the puzzles in later stages can make your brain busy for quite a long time. You need to think a few steps ahead, use your spatial thinking, and know the basics of physics to successfully resolve all the puzzles in the game. They can be really challenging sometimes. On the other hand, you cannot die, there is no time limit, and all puzzles have logical solutions. You only solve the recent puzzle, the puzzles are not interconnected somehow, and you do not need to backtrack to solve some puzzle in dependency of the other one, which would probably make the game too complex. And there is a reset button in many rooms that moves all the stuff back to the original position. So the game is definitely challenging but not frustrating. As for some controls, it is almost hard to believe that you just need movement keys, a jump button, and 2 mouse buttons to control everything. The controls are precise enough and responsive, and the only problem I had from time to time was falling down from the platforms, as they seemed a bit slippery sometimes. But it was probably just physical laws that you need to remember, as I mentioned before. Do the game audiovisuals properly support the game atmosphere? And the answer here is positive. The graphics are simple with no special effects and sterile environment, but still nice looking and smooth. The game runs on Unreal Engine and can be played in high resolution even on low-end PCs nowadays, so the good job was done by the devs again. Normally I would complain about the sterility of the environment, but it just belongs here to highlight the oppressive atmosphere of the game. And so do the mysterious music tracks and atmospheric sounds of manipulated objects, along with the great narration provided by Commander Novak's voice. I have really nothing to complain about here. Let's summarize it then. Has Q.U.B.E Director Scott met my expectations for atmospheric science fiction game with challenging puzzles to solve? It has unarguably many pluses. Atmospheric story worth following, great level and puzzle design, easy to learn but hard to master concept, many new ideas driving you forward, challenging difficulty, responsive controls, nice looking graphics, atmospheric music and sounds, and great fully voiced narration. There are only a few downsides. The absence of tutorial for casual players, The environment is maybe too sterile, lack of new skills or light RPG elements, and slippery feeling of platforms sometimes. There is no local multiplayer in the game, but I can hardly complain about it here, as it is pure atmospheric single-player experience. It is still suitable for family playing, as there is no violence in the game, and the game can develop your children's ability of spatial thinking and also thinking forward. Plus, you can show your little ones how the ideally cleaned room should look like by example of the game environment. The game costs €1 on Steam, and I would say that it's fair price for what the game offers. Q.U.B.E Director's Cut is able to drag you in thanks to its interesting science fiction story, challenging puzzles, and great level design that teases your curiosity about what comes next, which naturally drives you forward. I can say that I have enjoyed a strong single-player puzzling experience, and I'm therefore giving Q.U.B.E Director's Cut thumbs up and VideoGaming Father's index 8+ out of 10. Recommended. Thank you for watching this video review, and if you have enjoyed it, please do not forget about thumb up and subscribing to my VideoGaming Father's channel. See you!